Good morning, friends. It's Michelle with Garden Jargon, and I'm here at my house today at the Wilson Street Garden, and we are going to do a quick garden tour today. We have nothing. Oh, we have some stuff planted in the garden. I did a little bit of planting yesterday, and I wanted to take you around and show you the slow growth of these puny plants that I have at my house. They're so puny because it's not hot outside, and so stuff isn't growing because it needs heat and water and sunlight, and things are very slow growing right now, which is fine because if the weather was 80 degrees, I'd want to put everything in the ground right now, and I can't because I need to harden everything off. And I think you guys know and have heard me say that about plants, about hardening them off. What that process is one of the tedious processes during seed starting when you're growing plants inside. It's basically once the plants get big enough to be outside in the elements, you want to put them in the outside elements, the sun and the wind. Even if it's a light rain, put them outside so that they can feel the outside temperatures for what they are. Being indoors in a controlled climate, and then you just throw them into the ground outside. If you do that and don't transition them back and forth, they can die very quickly. And that's what happened to a couple women's plants last year when I had my plant sale. She said, I had these beautiful tomato plants in the window all spring, and then I put it in the ground and it died. Well, that's like putting an infant that just came out of the womb out into the yard without sunscreen. Like you can't do that. You can't do that for these plants either. So yes, this is a very, 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 very tedious portion of the seed starting stuff, but I want to make sure that these things live because I put a lot of time and energy into them. So where should we start? Well, let's go right here. I look like a hot mess today because I am. I'm turning the... Okay, so back here in the backyard I have these two greenhouses that I got from Aldi, and they are doing quite well. I have marigolds. I started those. There's a video that I made starting those. I have these ugly Roma tomatoes. Obviously I cluster planted them, and I planted too many seeds, and I don't have enough pots to step them up, so they're gonna stay in there because I'm not pulling them out. Sweet banana peppers are in there. I also have some cilantro growing here. These are all serranos. Over in the bigger greenhouse of the two, those are husky cherry tomatoes. Those are looking really nice. I did get some sun damage. I set them out in the sun a little too long. You can tell here by the leaves. And that's okay. They're still going to be resilient. They're still going to do really well. But when I do plant these, obviously, I'll do a video, but you plant them in the ground all the way up to here. So I'll pick these off and pick these off and let them grow up. My girlfriend gave me a clematis. I can't wait to put that in the ground. We have yellow bell peppers, habanadas, and you can see how tiny they are. It's like that's the size that they were when we put them in here. Violet sparkles are over there, and this is a whole tray of that Aromado basil. I've never seen that before, but look how beautiful that is. That's variegated basil. And then over here, my greenhouses that lost the battle to the windstorm a couple weeks ago. I actually had to go to Home Depot and buy this 6 mil plastic, and I doubled it up, and I basically wrapped the entire structure with plastic to keep them protected from the elements because it's been nasty cold. It's getting down to like 31, 34 at night. It's pretty bad. So I want to keep them protected, and they do look all very good. Like this is a cherry yellow tomato. That's a giant jalapenos are in there with some stellar tomatoes. Everything looks really good except for these triple crops. I'm not sure how many of these are going to survive. They are watered. I have them in these baskets so that they can drain. This is the Cherokee purple. These are all looking really good. Yellow pear tomatoes. This is a cherry tomato. These are some pineapple ground cherries. I have some damage from the sun because I put them out in the sun and left them too long. You can see some of that, but I'm going to leave them because they're still bringing in some of the sunlight with the other leaves. These are pineapple tomatoes in here. So that's pineapple yellow tomatoes. They're yellow. These are brandywines. This is the potato leaf. I think that's kind of like the triple crop. See that tomato leaf? That's very different than that classic tomato leaf right there. So I think triple crop, I've never grown this before, is gonna have the same type of leaf as this brandywine. But I grew brandywine last year and I really liked it. Black crim, those are all looking really nice. First time I'm growing those this year. And then again, some more purple basil over here. Hi. Hot mess. So let's go over here. Hold on one second. All right. So let's go over to the greenhouse. So the greenhouse is here. And what I've been doing is taking off the arch of the plastic, flipping it back so that the sun that's up here can get exposed to all these plants in here. And today I have it on a timer for 3 hours. Giving them an extra hour every day, and we'll see what happens. And I do zip this up and binder clip it at nighttime to make sure that I keep it nice and toasty inside. So down here we have the heirloom big rainbow. It's called the big rainbow. Everything's looking okay in there. These are the mortgage lifters and some basils that don't look like they're gonna make it. I must have watered too hard in there. But that's the mortgage lifter. First time I'm growing that this year. Serrano peppers, Anaheim peppers. Those are a red pepper, like a long, elongated, like red pepper. Nebraska wedding. Those are all looking really good. Those are really sprouting up quick. Jet Star is over here. They're a little puny. Some of these leaves are getting purple underneath the leaf, which is just a deficiency in the soil. But you have to remember, my gross soil, the soil that I use to step these plants up, there's no nutrition in it. So of course they're going to be turning colors like that. These are the large cherry tomatoes. What are these? Is this a mystery tray? Oh, that's awesome. Oh, there. Dr. Witchy's. Dr. Witchy's tomatoes right there. This is orange bell peppers. Wow, those are really kicking it up. You know what's funny about these? Like, look how big this pepper is. Like, compared to everything else that's in my garden, this pepper is the biggest one. But you know what? I almost killed this entire tray of peppers when they were indoors. So I stepped up the ones that survived after I had them recover. And these were stepped up way sooner than the other bell peppers that I had. So that's why they look bigger. And there is more serranos and also habaneros or habaneros. We have Cherokee purple tomatoes. They're in there. They're nice and puny. I call these the Yvonne pepper. I got those. They're a Tabasco pepper from my neighbor at my old house. Hot banana peppers. Celebrity tomatoes. Let's move around over here where I can reach. Look at my little doggy. She's hanging out right there in the middle of the garden. Molly, you being a good girl today? Silly. Over here we have sunburst tomatoes. Those are looking okay. These brandywines, again, man, these are not faring too well. Even the ones in the other greenhouse are looking like this. Hopefully they'll make a comeback. This is Cherokee purple tomatoes. These are looking nice. Roma tomatoes, puny things. These I cluster planted, like in those square pots, and they were really compacted. And I thought for sure they'd just really kick off in here this year, and they are not doing so good. Determinate bush. That's a bush variety, bush Goliath. More Roma tomatoes. Let me step in here. Over here we have shishito peppers. I cannot wait to grow those. Mild jalapenos. That tray is sweet banana peppers, bush Goliaths, Roma tomatoes. I'm growing so many Roma tomatoes. This is Roma also, because that's what everybody requested last year. So hopefully people will buy them. This is Kellogg's Breakfast. This was one of my favorites. That's cayenne peppers, more Roma tomatoes, and more Roma tomatoes. So that's what's out here in the greenhouse. Let me see if I could find the, oh yeah, here. You can, whoop, let me get out of the sunlight. You can see underneath here how purple that is. When you see purpling on your leaves like this, it's a deficiency in nitrogen. So you need to just put some fertilizer on them. So the next time that these dry out enough to water, I'm going to go ahead and feed them. Now, she doesn't like to lay on the wood chips. So I amended all of my beds yesterday and today with blood meal and azomite because my garden is lacking some nutrition. So I had to add that stuff to it. I did bring out all my brassicas today, which I probably made a huge mistake. Brassicas you're supposed to put in the ground a long time ago, and like a month ago, and they're still not in the ground, and I haven't hardened them off yet. So I'll show them to you. We have tons of broccoli here, red cabbages, an eggplant. I have some basil. Look how good that basil looks. And that's more cabbage. This is some eggplant and some broccoli, I think. What are these? Snowball, cauliflower. And we have some peppers here. What are these? Giant jalapenos. Over here I have beets and rutabagas. So that's my garden. So in the garden yesterday, what did I plant? In this row here and in that row there, along the back wall, along this board right here, I planted green beans. I planted 2 beans every 4 inches. They're bush beans, so they're only gonna get about, I don't know, like 8 to 10 inches tall. And they're gonna be on the back side because I'm putting rows of tomatoes in here. So the tomatoes won't get shaded out by the green peppers, but at least, not green peppers, green beans, but so at least I'll have some green beans. I'm gonna try to utilize every inch of space in this garden this year. Way over there, I have peas growing. They're right there. Sweet peas, and then on that trellis right there, I have sweet peas. I just started my strawberries. I guess I could show you that. I did buy some strawberries from a lady who grows them in her yard, and she just dug up a bunch of the crowns for me. So I made a strawberry bed. So I have strawberries in the towers as well as strawberries down in the bed in the pool, and I will keep them fed. They're very high feeders. They need a lot of nutrition. These are my carrots. They are slow. They're growing though. See those little bitty green sprouts? And there's 4 or 5 varieties of carrots in here. I have all my radishes down inside there. I'm gonna plant another big patch of radishes, but I've been thinning these out as they're growing. And what I do is I basically just find like a cluster that has a bunch of them together. I'll pull one out with the root. I'll stick my finger in a hole. I'll put that root down in there, and then I collapse the soil around it. And hopefully I'll get another radish over there. So these are nice and spaced out right now. We'll see how good they go. I think when I plant this big bed here, I'm also gonna plant a row of radishes right along the edge, because this is like a 15-foot bed here. Potatoes have already been planted. I have 2 sets of potatoes going. The one in the far bed over there were planted about a month ago. These are planted just this weekend. My onions are doing really well. Oh yeah, I planted onions in these beds too. So this wall here has onions in it. This has onions. This has onions, and I did onions down the sides of all 3 of these beds as well. They don't make a lot of shade. See? Those are right there. So they don't make a lot of shade, so whatever it is that I'm putting in here, they're still going to get southern exposure, and they're going to do just fine. So I just gave you a quick little garden tour because I haven't done one, and I want to try to do one every week to kind of let you know what's... It's me. I'm at my door. My Ring doorbell's talking to my phone. That's it. That's what I got going on in the garden today. That's what I got growing on in the garden today. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, hopefully next Monday, and we'll see if some things are sprouting. Have a great day. Take care and God bless.